Hi guys, today I'm here to do a book review of ACOFAS by Sarah J Maas, or I should say Court of Frost and Starlight. Who has time for that stuff? But I'm excited to talk about this book. I actually wasn't thinking about this book in the year that it was coming out. Like, I knew I was excited for it, and when the title dropped and then when the cover dropped, I was kind of excited, but then it wasn't really until it was in my hands and I started reading it that I was like, oh my god, I love Sarah J Maas. What disappointed me? Like, ACOFAS was such an amazing book and it was just so groundbreakingly awesome, and then ACOFAS disappointed me because it just ended so quickly and there were so many loose ends and it didn't work. This book practically needed to be on the end of Abbeyleec because it does tie stuff up, it does bridge the story, it does a good job of just being what it should have been, and it just made me enjoy the book. Like, and I'm not going to say that I liked this more than Abbeyleec because Abbeyleec had so much more in it, so they're probably pretty equal for me, but I was disappointed, so I wasn't thinking as much because after ACOFAS, the wait for Abbeyleec literally killed me. Like, that whole year, my whole life was just thinking about Abbeyleec. It's like leading up to Abbeyleec, what am I going to do when Abbeyleec comes out? Abbeyleec, that's my whole life. That was just everything. And then when it was such a disappointment, I just like, afterwards, I'm just like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? And like, really, because the next book is going to be about certain characters, I don't know if I'm too excited for it, but at the time it was really great. And also this video is going to have some spoilers because I do want to talk about stuff that does happen in this book, and you know, my Sarah J Maas videos are generally hecka long, so I'm going to try not speak too much. There is less pages to talk about, but that just means I'm going to talk about stuff in depth more probably, but I'm just letting you know this could be really long or it could be a normal sized video. We'll have to wait and see, but let's get into it. Now, one thing I have to talk to you guys about is the timeline. I feel like something has gotten messed up with this timeline because nothing lines up in my brain for me. So this novella takes place during the winter solstice and it's Feyre's 21st birthday, and she was born on the longest day of the year, right? That's where the setting is right now. And during the book, Feyre starts talking about it was only a year ago that Rhys saved her from Tamlin and stopped the wedding and all this stuff. That was a year ago is what she's saying. And for me, that just does not make sense. For one, only to have a year to get her to trust Rhys, to be with Rhys, to become High Lady, then have this war and the build up to the war and then the aftermath of the war, and also for the fact that she like spends like 6 months just getting used to Rhys or something. How can all this happen in a year? I don't know. I don't know how it all could have happened in a year. And another point, probably a better pressing one, is after Feyre goes back with Tamlin to save her court and they all get to go home and she's with Tamlin pretending to be like his bitch again, they celebrate the summer solstice and somehow it's Feyre's birthday because they talk about the longest day of the year and Rhys is in there going, I wish I could spend it with you, and I'm just like, how is her birthday then when literally the book says a year ago she was with Tamlin, and if her birthday's now and a year ago would have been she was like, her birthday was on the wedding, it wasn't on the wedding, and it makes me question, winter solstice and the summer solstice takes place at the same time because it's practically Christmas. Do all the courts have a different season for it to happen? Like in the Autumn Court it's the autumn solstice, and I don't know. So I'm very confused because Lucian said that there's 2 solstices, and that would mean that like the summer shouldn't be Feyre's birthday, but it seems like it might take place at the same time. I don't know. And another thing that I want to talk about is with the Fae's menstrual cycles. It happens every 6 months. Feyre talks about the fact that she had her first period 2 months ago, which should mean that she's only been a Fae for 8 months. And how does that even make sense? Like, how can she only be 8 months old? I'm saying a year ago that Rhys broke up her wedding and she was Fae then, and I just don't. Like, it seems like the fact that Rhys stopped her at the wedding is where the timeline is wrong, but Feyre was also Fae during her last birthday because with Tamlin for a long time in the first book. She was 19 at the start of the series, so this is her second birthday during this time, so she's been there for like 2 years now. And the other thing too is they're saying that Elaine and Nesta are due to have their periods soon, so that would mean that they've been Fae for 6 months as well, because they can't say that like Feyre maybe missed a year and then got her period, saying that her sisters are due to have theirs soon. Like, it just all got to me with this whole timeline thing, and I'm feeling like Sarah J Maas, like, I mean, she went through a few things here, so that could be a reason why all these timeline differences are hecka wrong, but it's irritating me because I'm just stewing on this stuff because it's just like, what is the truth here? What is the truth? Okay, so we'll actually get into the review now. I just needed to talk that out because there's a lot of things going on with this timeline that I can't deal with. And talking about periods, just yes. I was so excited to see a normal human thing in the Feylands. And I mean, yes, it only happens every 6 months, but still, it's a normal human female thing to happen. And actually, with the periods too, is because it does happen every 6 months, it's like 10 times worse. And like, Feyre was just in agony for the week and she couldn't move, she couldn't do anything. And like, Rhys was there with her the whole time and it was so sweet because like, he helped her clean clean up the blood and he wasn't offended or grossed out by it, and he fed her and sat with her and just spent time with her, and that was a beautiful moment between them, even though she's in heck of a lot of pain. But I liked that. And like, seriously, the amount of fluff in this small book was actually amazing, and to see Reese and Feyre be like so domestic in their living and what they were doing and just doing paperwork and building and doing all this like nice stuff. But damn, this book got hot quick, and like literally most of the book Reese is just horny as heck, and like literally they do it in the sky. Like, only Reese would do it in the sky because he has the wings. You know how Cassian goes to that monolith on Mount Ramiel? I just want to know, like, is it just a question? Is that got anything to do with Throne of Glass? Because they say it's been there longer than time itself. And if Throne of Glass happened beforehand, was this monolith something? Like, we help Abbeyleec here? I don't know, but I just wanted to put that in here because the monolith was like, what is this thing? But I loved the moment in the book where Reese and Tamlin actually have a talk, and Reese finally had a chance to yell at Tamlin for everything that he did. And even though Tamlin's just turned into a sack of shit right now and he just does not care, he doesn't even have wards protecting himself, he doesn't eat, he just wants to die right now because of everything that's happened. But Reese just was there and he was able to voice his things, because he said in the book he's never going to forgive anyone that's hurt Feyre, and Tamlin is the like main suspect for that. Like, I still hate Tamlin, but it struck a chord to see how devastated he is, and I'm like, oh, mate, like, I mean, this is the aftermath of a love triangle that you never see, like, actually see how devastated the other guy is. Feyre's been with both of them, and they have to try and talk to each other, and it's just awkward. And like, I was so excited for Feyre to be painting again in this book, and her whole journey of, you know, getting the art studio and painting her life, and then actually making these classes for kids so that they could express themselves through painting if they couldn't speak about it. And that was all just beautiful, and I love that Reese was just so behind it, and like, it took Feyre many times to manage to make the step to do this, but I loved that journey with her. And like, such a small book to have this amazing journey was just great. Feyre and Cassian getting drunk AF in this book so many times was just like my trash. I loved it so much. And like, when Amrit didn't know how to go to the bathroom, because beforehand she never had to go to the bathroom, now that she's just a high fae, she had to learn how to go to the bathroom. So funny. Like, honestly, just the way that she was talking about it, and they're all cacking themselves. So good. Now let's talk about Nesta for a bit, because she's been a straight up bitch. She doesn't speak to anyone, and she moved to the other side of Valeris in like the shithole of the city, which isn't really a shithole, but like a shithole. And she totally blames Feyre for everything that's happened to her, and she just wants to be a bitch her whole life, and she doesn't even talk to Elaine anymore, who she used to protect with her like whole soul, and now she doesn't talk to either of her sisters. I just desperately need to know the reason why she is the way that she is, because she was gonna tell Feyre and Aquawar, because Feyre is just like, why are you like this? Like, why do you treat me like this? And Nesta was about to say something, and I want to know what that thing was, and I hope we find out. I just want to know why she's a bitch, because if there's a reason, she can be redeemed, even though she is non-redeemable in my mind and I hate her. And you know something else? I need to know if Feyre and Reese are actually married. Like, I need it in wording. They don't mention a wedding ever. Feyre sometimes relates to Reese as a husband. I think it's like she uses it in term in the human world so that they understand that they're together, because she can't just be like, mate, to him all the time in the human world. And like, she may have talked about it a little bit, but like, I want a wedding. Like, why can't they do a wedding? They have so much money. Like, I know that Feyre got crowned into being the High Lady, but like, that was the High Lady ceremony. That wasn't a wedding ceremony. Like, I honestly just want to see one wedding in a Sarah J Maas book, because every character that's been married did it in secret without us knowing, and it's a big mystery, and it's just like, tell us. You know, there is seriously so much pain between Elaine and Lucien in this book, but like, I don't know if I want him with Elaine. Like, I'm really liking Azriel and Elaine, and then Lucien's off with his band of exiles and all those rejects and shit. Like, he's probably gonna hang out with them, and Elaine can stay here, but she's not ready to love a male. She is not here to be with a male. She wants Grayson, but he is a bitch, so she can't have Grayson. And like, the snowball fight. The snowball fight. They are the biggest Illyrian babies in the world. And for the fact that Feyre is like, these are the three biggest, baddest, mightiest Illyrian warriors, and they're having a freaking snowball fight, and Moore's just like, yeah, been doing it since our kids, 500 years. And it was just like, mate. And guys, we finally got the wall seed. Like, praise. It was cringy AF. Cringy. Some of the wording that Reese used, and some of it just, it gets a bit too much. But, you know, the wall scene, it's what I wanted last book. Didn't happen, so I've been waiting 2 years for this. It's like kind of disgusting to read. I was happy about it. And I don't know how to feel about Feyre wanting kids so soon. Like, the reasoning for it is good, is like, you know, if we die, we might as well have kids now, because if we don't have them and then we die, we won't have kids, you know, like her reasoning. But literally in Akamath, she wanted to wait a couple of years and like, you know, live her life. And now she's something like, oh my god. And Reese is just like, mate, yes, let's do it. And I'm just like, no, like I want you to have kids, but I don't want you to have them like this soon. I am kind of excited though that Reese is the actual one that takes the contraceptive tonic, like Fairy doesn't have to do it, like Reese does it, and I'm like, mate, you're beautiful. You know something funny, right? It's like with this book, like they use the word mate so many times. I am an Australian. Mate means something different than in this book. This isn't the book, this is my notebook, but it's like you just go up to people and you're just like, mate, like they would kill someone. These territorial fey bastards. If they were in the land of Australia, they would lose it, because like literally if I could find some of these quotes, Feyru my mate, Feyru my mate, it's pretty much like going, Feyru my bro. You are my bro, Reese, you are my bro and I love you so much. Let's go, bro. Feyru my mate, my darling, my bro. Like, it just cringes me. It has since the first Sarah J Maas book that I read that had the word mate in it, because it's like, mate. It's not mate. But I really enjoyed how this story did bridge quite well, and it does lead to talking about the 3 next stories of this series, and I'm excited, but I kind of feel like I don't want to talk about it in my review here, because I generally talk about like Sarah J Maas updates in my book chat, so I'm not going to tell you my theories about what the next books are going to be about, but it's pretty obvious because they practically spell it out in this novella, but I'm still going to talk about it in a different spot. But I'm just glad that they ended Reese and Feyre's story quite beautifully, and I'm excited to see what's happening next, but I just don't want to see Nesta anymore. I just don't. I just hate her. I hate her and I don't want to talk about her. And anyway guys, thanks for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you guys later. Bye!